Combining like terms. 7k and 5k are like terms because they have the same variable, k, raised to the same exponent. There is no exponent shown, so that would just be the invisible number 1 for the exponent. Anyways, 7k minus 5k, just subtract their coefficients. 7 take away 5 is 2. Bring the k along, and our expression is 2k. All right, combine like terms again. As you can see, every term contains the variable z. There's no exponent shown, so we can just combine the coefficients. So this would be like a negative 7 plus negative 7. That's going to be negative 14. And then we also have a negative 2 and a positive 9. That's going to combine to make positive 7. And if I combine those numbers together, negative 14 plus 7 is negative 7. And just bring the z along, our expression becomes negative 7z. All right, when you simplify the expression, you're going to use the area model. The variable outside the parentheses goes in front. The inside of the parentheses, those are your terms. Those get their own separate boxes. So that's 4y, it's a positive 2. And we're going to multiply these. So 4 times 4y is 16y. 4 times 2 is going to give you 8. Bring those down, that's 16y. 8, and the plus sign is just going to come on down. So you have 16y plus 8. And that is our simplified expression. All right, simplify the expression. We're going to use the area model again. The 3 is going to come along to the front of the area model. We're going to put the 1 in front of the z because it's just a single z, so it's 1z. And that's going to get its own box. So 1z. Bring down your minus 4 right there. And we're going to multiply. 3 times 1z is 3z. And 3 times 4 is 12. Bring those down. That's 3z. Bring down your 12 and bring down your minus sign. So 3z minus 12. That is your new expression. And there you have it. All right, so for this one, we have a two-step equation. There's your equal sign right there. So that's what makes an equation. To solve, we're going to put a box around the variable term. That means we're going to leave it alone. Then we're going to do opposite operations. So instead of minus 5, I'm going to add 5 to both sides because that's the opposite. The opposites cancel. So those are gone. 4 plus 5 gives me 9. On the other side, I have 3 times p. Now the opposite of multiplying times 3 is to divide by 3. So we're going to divide by 3 on both sides to keep the equation balanced. 3 divided by 3 is 1. So that's 1p. Or just p is equal to 9 divided by 3, which is 3. And that is our solution. If you were to go back, we could see that 3 times, if p was 3, 3 times 3 would be 9. And 9 take away 5 does leave us with 4. So that solution works. Okay, for the last one, we can solve this 2 separate ways. One is the division method. So I can divide by the number on the outside on both sides of the equation. So divided by 4, that leaves me with 1 times y plus 2. But 1 multiplied by anything does not change the value of the thing being multiplied by. So if I say 1 times y, that's just going to be y. If I say 1 times 2, that's just going to be 2. So I have y plus 2. On the other side, 16 divided by 4 is equal to 4. From now, we're going to do opposite operations. Instead of plus 2, we're going to subtract 2 from both sides to keep this equation balanced. Opposites cancel, so that's basically 0. 2 take away 2 is 0, leaving me with y. And 4 take away 2 is 2. So that should work. And if you were to replace y with the number 2, then 2 plus 2 is going to be 4. And 4 times the 4 right there is going to be 16, so it checks out. So it makes sense. Now we can solve it the other way. So if I have my equation, I could use the area model to use the distributive property. The 4 in the front of the parentheses goes on the outside. My terms inside the parentheses get their own box, and that's 1y. That's 1y. And then we just multiply. So 4 times 1y is 4y. 4 times 2 is 8. And my expression becomes 4y. Bring down the plus sign right there. So 4y plus 8. So now I have an equation, 4y plus 8. That's my new expression. And the whole thing is equal to 16, but there's no parentheses now. Here we're going to solve it, put a box around it. That means we're going to leave it alone. Then we do opposite operations. Instead of plus 8, we're going to subtract 8. And if you do it to one side, you got to do it to the other. So the 8s are going to cancel because 8 take away 8 is 0. Leaves me with 4y. On the other side, I have 16 take away 8. That's 8. And now the last part is we're saying 4 times the y value is equal to 8. So mental math, you know y has to equal 2 because 4 times 2 is 8. but just using opposite operations, I know that the opposite of times 4 is divide by 4. If you do it to both sides, you're going to get 8 divided by 4 is 2. And that's the same value that we got using the division method. So y is equal to 2.